Libra, this is Just with your February 15th to the 28th, 2018 reading. I hope you guys are having an enjoyable day so far. So Libra, it looks like the past 3 weeks or 3 days or so, some of you guys were kind of riding high. Financially, money was coming in. It seems like things were on the upswing for you guys. Family life, some of you even now could be planning possibly a family trip for the month of March or in the next 3 weeks. So there's some positive activity that's been happening in your past energy. And what it looks like now, some of you, there may be some issues and concerns that some of you, and this is a little bit more prominent for Libra women. There could be some issues of you not necessarily feeling like you have enough, that you are enough, okay? And doubting yourself. I feel like the confidence level is a little bit on the negative or a little bit depleted to some extent. For all of you, the reasons why will be different. Some of you may just feel like you're not getting enough love. Others may be, again, feeling as though you're not being as loving. They may see you as being a lot more rigid, not confrontational, but very much rigid, almost taking on more of a masculine energy is what it seems like. And I feel like some of you just have a lot on your plate, a lot. If it's not literally on like a lot on your plate, like you have a lot going on, there's a lot on your mind. There's a weight that you're carrying around. And I feel like that's disconnecting you from your softer side. Okay. And the reality is that you're coming off a little bitchy. Just no other way to say it, but you are a bit emotionally removed. And people, I feel, don't realize that there's a lot more going on to you than they know. Okay. It's a lot more going on with you than they know. And it has something to do possibly, again, with your body image, your own self-worth, confidence, money, lack thereof to some extent. Some of you have no money problems, while others of you, I feel there could have been some kind of change in your finance. It could have been you possibly taking, I don't want to say you're taking a risk, but there was an element of you possibly getting involved in doing something financially that you put your emotions involved in it, and you didn't necessarily use your logic for some of you, and there could have been a loss of some sort. So I do see some form of money loss, or there may be like your money is tied up as well. Also, I feel like a lot of you just have a lot going on. For those of you that I said it's not in your mind. And it's not just, lack thereof as far as like how you see yourself. There's just a lot going on. And because of that, I feel that you guys just kind of can't do it all. So you may be dropping the ball on things. You may be feeling as though you just don't have the energy to some extent to do all that you have to do. So I do feel like, and some of you also, your emotions could have gotten out of control where you were fine. And you may, I get almost like, not necessarily bipolar, but it could be, in that skies of 1 minute you're fine, you're laughing, and then the next minute you're an emotional wreck. Then you're being emotionally stoic and distant from people. Even though people are trying to be very loving toward you, you're coming across as being very rigid. And I feel that there is a possibility of a fallout, of a fight. Hopefully it does not come to that at all. And that can make its way to there being some time apart. I feel that there's something going on with Libra specifically. It's an individual thing, like it's a personal thing to you, and you're not sharing it with other people. Although I don't have a card of secrets here, but I just get the energy is suggesting that there's something going on with you that you're not telling people, or even you don't know, like some imbalances to some extent. And again, it's creating more problems than it needs to. And I feel like your children, if you have a family dynamic, the children are fine, your maid is fine, they're loving, that sort of thing. But your energy is, again, a bit displaced. So you guys have got to find out for yourselves what's really going on. Now, if you're having money problems, and I say that for a reason, so just, pay attention. You could have lost like 20% of what you have. You may have lost, or you may feel like you're going to lose $200, $200, $20, $2,000. Or there could be something, again, that has been amiss to you, know that in the last week of February, things will get better. Okay. I feel that you will definitely get some source of income. So some money will be coming to you guys that you weren't really expecting. Some money will be coming to you. Someone's going to help you that you weren't really expecting. If you're looking for a situation where it's a work situation, you may be out of work. There's going to be an offer that comes directly to you. So if you've been feeling like I just lost my job, there's an opportunity that's going to come. But again, I feel your energy needs to be a little bit more positive. Okay. And the second week, things will get better. Now, again, if you did something where you're like, oh, I did a little but then things are starting to work itself out and rectify, just learn that lesson, because I feel like there's a lesson here that needs to be learned. So you need to learn a bit of some lessons along with kind of I want to say scary, but it's not a scary situation. It's more like just a kind of misstep. You know how sometimes it's like, okay, I lost a little bit of money. Oh, well, it kind of works itself out, but I learned from that. Or, I lost this opportunity, but I learned from it. So it's a lesson to be learned here. Okay. But I feel like going forward, I feel you need to be a little bit more practical about things. Not that you are, because again, I don't get like just being completely wasteful. I feel like maybe perhaps emotionally you did something that may cost you to some extent. But I feel again in the second week, things will get better. So don't beat yourself up. I know this message is so weird. And it's weird to me, but that's the message that I'm getting. Now, I think I kind of already spoke on finances. The next 2 weeks, your finances may be up and down. So again, not feeling like the money is coming in as it was, 3 weeks ago or 3 days ago, or in the past 3 months, losing some money to some extent, things, you feeling like things are kind of like emotionally not under control for you, even though mentally you may be coming across to people not emotional. Actually, to people, you're coming across as if you're so emotionally disconnected from people, but it's because you are so emotional right now. You just kind of don't even know what to do, but it's all more internal. I hope that makes sense. And if it does, and if you like to share, please do so I can know that there is someone who can understand or relate to what I'm saying. I feel like there's going to be some decisions made, wrongs being righted in the second week. Write it, if that's a word. And I feel that there is, a decision making. So if you have a court thing going on, looks like there's going to be a decision, which I feel will be favorable for you guys, especially if it has something to do with work or your job situation. It looks like it's going to be favorable for you. I want to look more into this fallout. Okay. The best thing you can do for yourself, and this is actually your advice. So if you're going to see something that's a little bit challenging and negative energy, at least it's in the advice position. I feel you guys, if anybody is coming across, and this is energy that could have already happened. Okay. So keep that in mind, because it is the advice position. So if anybody was coming off to you very defensive, it could have created a fight, an argument. And again, this speaks to a toxic way of cycle that you and your mate, or you and a business partner, you and, anyone in your life that you can relate this to. This is a cycle. You guys have an opportunity to break that. Okay. I do see a cycle and a pattern here that you have an opportunity to break. And the cycle goes this way. There's a problem. No one really is dealing with the problem. Each person kind of finds their own way to express the issue that they're having. Someone may be petty, vindictive. And then you lash out verbally and become argumentative, and then a fight ensues, and then it kind of gets back to, then you start to apologize and everything is okay. And it's like almost like a cycle, like you have to go through this negative period in order to get to the better part of it. You guys can really eradicate that and get things back to a positive way, something very positive. And I feel like it's just two people that aren't necessarily using the right ways to disconnect. Okay. So don't see someone's defensive demeanor as a threat to you that you feel like you have to counteract that by being verbally abusive. Okay. If those of you that can relate to that, it's probably energy that you've already experienced. And for others of you, it's something that if you see it happening, just know that you want to kind of keep your mouth quiet and don't continue to go through the same pattern. Now, as it relates to love, I feel like some of you guys, definitely as far as your relationship is concerned, again, like I said, there's this disconnect. You may be, either the person that you're with, Libra women, I get strongly, they may have been very authoritative toward you. I don't get cold, but I just feel like very authoritative. Like they have the control. They rule the house. Like they run things. And I feel like this person could be very much a hard worker. There seems to be not really feeling like exactly what you want in this relationship. You don't know where it's going. You don't know what you want. You don't know exactly where this person stands. And I feel that there is, again, you needing to get some clarification about things before you'll be willing to move forward. Again, especially if you and this person kind of aren't necessarily on speaking terms right now. I even see that for some of you, got to be very careful because there could be a sexually transmitted disease that some of you may be faced with. And if that's the case, if you had one of these rendezvous, these night out on the towns, that sort of thing, of course you're sitting around acting crazy because you don't know if you have a sexually transmitted disease or not. That I'm seeing very clearly. Some of you are not aware that you have a sexually transmitted disease, or you don't know who it came from or whoever it came from. You are just in this stalemate period until you get to a point where you can talk to this person and ask them, did you give this to me? Or I have this is what I'm getting. So definitely if the person is on the fence, you're going to go off. Now, this is completely different. I'm not telling you, this is completely different if someone did you that wrong and you want to address the situation. Just make sure that you're not doing anything that's going to get you in trouble. Because you obviously, it was a mutual thing, hopefully it was, mutual, but so I do see that. So be very careful for those of you that's out here single. Be very careful because right now you guys definitely are open and susceptible to contracting a sexually transmitted disease. Okay. Or anyone that's stepping out on you, you can't just be so passive or just so accepting of them with their wild ways, thinking that, it's just fine because they could be dealing with someone that has a sexually transmitted disease. For a lot of Libra women, I don't feel like you're the person that's transiting things. I feel like it's another person, it's an outside person, but you have to be careful with your mate. So if you feel like your mate is being less than honest, be careful because, again, this is a red flag. It's coming up very strongly that there could be some passing of a disease. Now, have I said that enough? Now, I feel like whatever you're trying to address about the situation, some of you guys will get on the other side of it. Clearly, I'm not speaking to the sexually transmitted disease situation, but if there's been a fallout or rift, I feel like you'll get on the other side of it. Just make sure that you guys aren't trying to continue to perpetuate the same cycle of like, we fight, we fuss, we get back together, we fight, we fuss. Try to make sure that whatever new agreements and new ways of coming back together and working things out, you guys make a new commitment, one that is traditional. We're together. We're both committed and monogamous. We're being honest. We're being ethical. All those things are very important to have a thriving relationship together with your mate. Okay. But I feel like there is an element of, toxicity here as well. So somebody isn't necessarily going to be ethical at all. And it can get really bad. So, and I feel like to a huge extent, it's not coming from the Libra person, but some of you are going to really have to put your feet down and not allow things just because you have a family, because this person that you have a family with could be extremely less than honest is what it looks like to me. I don't see this dishonesty come from it, but I feel like given the whole spectrum, there's this situation that's dishonest. Okay. And it could be you or it could be them, but there is definitely some dishonesty going on here. Excuse me. And it could be past energy as well for those of you that's thinking about that. Now, others of you, I feel that there is, as far as your relationship is concerned, I feel like there's something, again, I keep getting that there is this, things working out, things getting better in the second week. You know, your mate may be a lot more loving and caring and doting on you. And you guys will be on the same page. So whatever issues you were having, seems like things will get better. But again, you want to work on, or you want to stop this pattern, because I keep getting like it's a pattern rather than, you know, you guys are just good and everything is good now. It's like a pattern. So that's what I have for you guys for the remainder of 2 weeks. I hope that this has been helpful. If you would like to share, and I know this is a lot. How long is this reading? It's 15 minutes. Oh my goodness. If you would like to share how this relates to you, please do so in the comment section below. I think you guys can see that this one kind of pooped me out. Excuse me. And if you would like a personal with me, I can be reached at the beginning and end to this video. And if you are new to this channel, welcome, 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 and subscribe, because I will be back very soon with another one. Take care, Libra.